Um, I just think it's kind of like a fun opportunity, really, just to like learn more about the game and just be able to like push myself further.
Yeah, yeah,
And I feel like with the rank I'm at, I'm getting into some situations where I just like don't know how to play them. It's like mainly to like specific I guess like specific comps on like certain maps that can be a little challenging with like the
yeah,
characters I play.
yeah. Okay, okay. I'm seeing ball Junkrat. Is that still the case?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay. So has that always been the case, or has that changed over time? Or yeah.
Um, I feel like I've done like a bit of well for tank. I kind of started in like Ramatra, I guess a little in
Yeah.
like
I coached your
season
sim
I
at
don't know
one
like
point,
five or
right?
something. Yeah, yeah, you did. And then I think like I did like do a lot of ball and focused a lot on ball.
Okay, okay.
In terms of DPS, it's been like I guess mainly been like some venture sim, and then now it's Junkrat.
Yeah,
Junkrat
okay.
right now because I kind of just want to like challenge myself to
Sure.
see how far I could push him.
I think Junkrat's in a interesting spot right now. I think like he's like maybe he's not like the most meta DPS of all time right now, but like I think his perks and then even like the recent buff a few months ago to his projectile speed, just like base kit, like it's pretty. You could find a lot of consistency with Junkrat more so than before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah. So I really enjoy Junkrat. He's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. Definitely one of those heroes that I'm going to play when I'm just like looking to have some fun. Um, so yeah, I mean, ball junk, really fun. Now you said you were hovering on your form around masters. Where were you prior to rank reset, and where are you now with each of those heroes?
Okay, so last season I ended Masters 3. I did the peak GM5
Nice.
on a tank, and then for DPS I ended Masters 5. My peak was Masters 3.
Yep.
And
Where are you
then for
now?
this season I am Masters 2 tank and Diamond 1 DPS.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Sounds good. Are we going to be looking at both today, or one or the other, or what?
Yeah, I'd like to look at both.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Basically, just looking for some ideas, looking for some feedback, things to work on. Kind of reaching the point in time where obviously you're really good at the characters, but just squeezing a little bit more out of it.
Hmm.
You have any questions with playtime or training routine? It looks pretty solid, a couple
Um,
hours a day, a little longer on the weekends.
hmm. Yeah, I think in terms of training, I haven't like really tried to go into like ranked games with training in mind. I
Yeah,
mainly when I played, it's mainly just kind of to win. So I wonder how to like balance between playing just to like I guess rank up and playing to like train something.
sure, sure. So I actually think that it's like pretty important to get a balance of the two. I know some people that all they do is practice, and it's like they don't really ever put it all together. I think it's an easy early beginner trap. Excuse me. And then the other concept is of like knowing how to drill is really important as well. So if you don't know how to actually train specific skills, then that's a problem. So what I would do in your perspective or your position rather is I would say about half to two-thirds of your game, I'm cool with you just going in and playing your best. I won't say necessarily play to win necessarily, but that's essentially just like I want you to put on the best performance, highest effort, do whatever you need to do in the moment, just autopilot with full intensity, if that makes sense. And that's playing to
Okay.
win, right? And that's kind of what you're already doing right now. What I would insert is about a third of those games, maybe more. I would go in with a specific task or concept or principle that you're trying to practice, preferably something that you're weak at or something that you need to explore more. That might be cover usage, that might be timing with wrecking ball, it could be a tech that you're practicing with ball. It could even be something as stupid as like a little bit of trigger discipline with your Junkrat. Like you find yourself spamming shots kind of brainlessly too often, right? Just addressing weak points, but it's something that you can guarantee drill no matter what you're playing versus, right? And then that's essentially what a training drill is. And you want it to be something that you can practice every single fight. You don't want it to be a situational, well, if I'm playing versus Winston on watch point Gibraltar third, I forget about the
Yeah,
trap position,
exactly.
right, exactly. So you want something you can drill. And that's basically it. Like that right there is like a really nice, well-rounded way of approaching the game that'll get you to GM, especially with the amount of training time you're getting right now. Just like 2 to 3 hours, that's perfect. That's perfect right there.
Okay.
Uh, Goals for you. Do you have any questions with that? Actually, before we move on.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's just a slight departure of just putting your attention onto some skills. Now, I will warn you, when you are training, you're probably going to play worse, especially depending on what you're practicing. because you're putting more of your mental energy into like a specific aspect of your skill. And like if you were playing to win, that would not be the best way to play. But basically the reason why you're doing that is because when you're playing to win or playing to play your best, there are going to be certain weak points that just don't get the attention that they deserve. And you need to kind of provoke change in those by being a slightly worse player temporarily, occasionally, just so you can sharpen those weaknesses, if that makes sense. Okay. In terms of how to manage your ball Junkrat split, I'm curious to see what you're doing now, because it's pretty impressive to have 2 1-tricks, both in the mid to high masters, even if it's just a peak. How have you been managing that historically, even just like the last month or so?
I just kind of play like whatever I feel like. If when I queue comp, it's usually both tank and DPS.
Yeah,
It's obviously favored for tank just because of like queue times, really.
sure.
But I think my time on them is like I want to say it's like kind of even. I'm
Yep.
like right now it's like 13 hours on ball, 12 on junk for this season.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be super analytical about it. I would just make sure that you're like getting your minimum effective dose every, like I wouldn't skip Junkrat for 3-4 days in a row. You know, I would get into a game or 2 at least, and vice versa for ball as well. So as long as you're checking that box, whatever works for you is fine with me. Okay. Short-term goals is to find a tank to play with ball when it's banned. Is that what we're going to be talking about today? I mean, obviously we won't review that necessarily, but
I think a little bit of discussion's fine. I feel like I've settled on like Mauga.
yeah,
He feels like pretty comfy. He's not like
sure.
too demanding. And
He's relatively flexible too. Like he's not as unflexible as like let's say Orisa, Ram, Roadhog, stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's a good one. I love me some Alga. Goal long term is to stay consistently Grandmaster on tank and eventually do the same with other roles, DPS and support. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be more of the same with what we talked about, like just getting a little bit more drill mindset, like addressing your weaknesses. Now I will say it might be difficult to maintain GM on all roles. One of my students I've been working with right now, he has reached GM on all 3 roles, or he almost has reached GM on all 3 roles. He's reached GM on everything but tank. It is like Master's 1 right now. But he did them sequentially. So like right now, his DPS is probably like mid-master, support's probably like mid-masters as well. He didn't do GM all at the same time. Now, that's not impossible. It's very, very possible. It just, you're stretching it with your playtime, if that makes sense. Like that's something that I'd expect from like a 3 to 4 hours a day. And that's not where you're at right now. So what I would say is that's definitely a maybe that will happen, maybe that won't goal, if I could be honest with you.
Okay.
But it's something that we could maybe work towards, and let's just kind of focus on the short term and we'll see what happens. I think my understanding of risk reward is one of my greater weaknesses. Either I do not contribute enough to a fight or I take risky plays without properly assessing risk and get punished for it. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a great symptom to recognize. But when do you feel like you don't take risks enough? And in what circumstances or situations do you feel like you take too much risk? Have you seen any patterns with that? If not, no problem, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, okay. So I think there's certain situations I run into a ball where it's like it's a certain comp. There's one replay I have today where it's like it's a high damage comp. It's like Tor Bastion or something
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
DPS.
yeah.
So like, and it's like I don't even want to like roll through it all because it feels like I'm just gonna get like blasted by everything. So I
Yeah,
feel like that just really affects like how much I'm contributing to the fight.
yeah, yeah. But wouldn't you say that's not necessarily a mentality issue, but maybe more of an understanding issue?
Um, yeah, I see where you're coming
You
from
kind of
now.
because basically what you're saying is I see a situation and I rationally analyze it and decide on a certain path, but I feel like I'm not doing enough. But there is a very good reason behind me doing it. So it's like I don't think that that's lazy or sloppy. I think that's just that's good. That's good. Maybe we could find ways to get more value out of it, but I don't think that's a. So basically, the reason why I'm kind of nitpicking on this is because I want to make sure that we're addressing the root cause here, which is versus these explosive compositions, I'm struggling to get value. It's not that, oh, I have this problem where I don't get enough value. I mean, no, there's a very specific circumstance that causes that to happen, right? Now, what about the inting? When you int, like you go in, you do too much, or you take too much time to get killed. What are the circumstances surrounding that? Are there patterns with that?
I think for ball, it's gonna be that mainly happens, I guess, like mid fight when I'm going after like my second engage. Sometimes I like forget
Yeah.
about a CD that was like not used or something, or just
Right.
honestly like go through main because I need like uptime to
Sure.
contribute.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. So it's like I do a great job with that initial engage. I get sloppy with the second engage because it's like, oh, I've done a good enough job. So now that's my job is done. Well, it's like, no, well, maybe there's still a threat there. So you've checked the first box, which is why you're masters. Maybe we need to check that second box more often. Okay, makes sense. I don't think there's anything else in your forum. Do you have any other questions for me?
Um, I think this is like a general question I have for like playing ball into like a dive comp
Yeah, go
when
for it.
they have like a lot of dive threats. I feel like it's quite difficult for me to like put out enough pressure because I feel like what would happen sometimes I'd go in on like a support, say like I don't know, Kiriko or something.
Yeah.
I'd do whatever, but it feels like my team's just kind of like dying to like they're like Winston Tracer or like whatever. And it just feels like okay, is that even like really the best target? Or should
Yeah. I
I
mean, do
aim
you
to
have a
like
code with
top?
that? Do you have a code for that? If not, I can draw it up.
Um
If not, no problem.
I think I have something kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. If not, like I said, we can draw it up. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. Any other questions? Keep that one bookmarked. We'll come back to that.
No, I don't have any others right now.
Okay. Give me a second. Then go ahead and copy and paste your codes. I'm going to switch up my mic. Give me just a second here. Okay, can you hear me all right? All good?
Yeah, I can. Yep.
All right, let's go here. Now, which code is this? Is this ball, Junkrat?
This is ball on Rinsapi.
Okay. Was this the high damage comp or the more
Yeah,
divey
it was
comp?
the high damage one.
Okay. So let's actually use the Runasapi code here, even though it's high damage, as like an analogy or a setup for our explanation how to play versus dive, because it's a great question. So what I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to pretend as if you're playing versus, well, actually, this isn't too bad because they start on a divey-ish comp here. Okay. So
Okay.
can you see my stream okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Great. Let's get this pulled up here. So what Ball does is he does what a lot of dive characters do. He takes an off angle, and if nobody's on that off angle, he continues all the way and looks for backline. Now, Ball is tricky because Ball, you have so many, by the way, I love the name.
Yeah, thank
Ball
you.
has so many staging tools, right? That a lot of times you can kind of skip that off angle setup. But let me give you an example of what I might do versus a dive here. Let's say they're in Curie Lucio, Sombra Tracer, Winston, whatever. If I go here and somebody gets in my way, I don't necessarily have to immediately go for backline. And I think this is something that a lot of ball players screw up, is you are not I have to dive backline all the time. There's nothing but going backline. If you stage on an angle and you run into Sombra Tracer or Winston or whatever, and you fight those targets, that's fine. You're not going to get big cleave slams. You're not going to get big AoE slams on backline or isolate the Zenyatta and murder him when you're playing versus dive. But those compositions don't really have the CC or high damage output to kill you either, correct?
Right.
So what you essentially trade is you trade lethality for uptime. And so you slam and you shoot the Tracer and you force her blinks out, and then now the Winston Sombra dive your backline, but there's no Tracer. And then you use your grapple to continue and pursue the Tracer afterwards and then hit the backline. And the backline doesn't follow up to the dive. And then, oh no, the Winston's shooting at me, so I could shoot him and then I force his bubble. And then the Sombra tries to use hacking me, but she's not hacking the backline, and so on, right? And basically when you're playing versus those compositions, I don't want you to avoid necessarily going for backline, but I don't necessarily want you to force backline. You might get into combat along the way, and that's how you peel for your team. Because if you think about it, maybe not in this particular situation, Sombra Tracer are not going to stage exactly like this, right? But if you were to roll, like let's say this way, you're going to run into flankers here that are going to try to dive your backline. And so you might fight them, and that's fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's not like super dopamine max, because the way that you fight a Tracer is... it's not super engaging for either of you, but it is effective.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like trying to get her cooldowns out. Maybe like grapple.
Right. Force Lucio to pocket her, and then there's more resources going her way. So obviously easier said than done. So, but I hope you at least get the concept there. Okay. Any other questions with ball before we take a look here?
No, I think we're good now.
Now, you wanted 50-50 ball and Junkrat, correct? Or would you
Yeah.
prefer that shifted it a different direction?
I think 50-50 is good.
Okay, let's take a look here. All right, good staging. Always fun to use your verticality if you can skip steps and just go right to backline. Also appreciating this mountain, which I never appreciate because I never see it. But there it is. Good. I like the root dodge there as well. That's obviously perfect. That's just respect to the enemy team, which is basically like, I'm going to stage hard, but I know that you guys have counterplay, so I'm going to immediately respond. So I'm going to slam. I'm going to adaptive shields immediately, and this is something that I think a lot of mid to low rank balls screw up, is like you need to use this when there aren't a lot of numbers on your screen, right? I mean, you know this, right? But because you have 7 seconds. So even though you don't need it now, you might need it 5 seconds from now, or 3 seconds from now, or 2 seconds from now, because we're still using that adaptive shields then. Right, so this is all fine. No complaints. And this is what I think you talked about with that second engage, right? That moment right there.
Yeah, that felt a little scary now that I'm looking at it.
A little scary. It's all good. Like, this is really well executed, but the reality is that, like, essentially the reason why it felt all good is because of what you had, and that's what you no longer have. You had adaptive shields. You had team follow-up. So right here, it's like, I understand that there's a desire to keep going, but this is turned from a 5v5 into a 2v4. You see it?
Yeah, it's only the tracer that's up here now.
Right, so even though you're up 1, you aren't actually up 1 right now. Because even if your backline is dealing with their tracer, okay, actually it's not a 2v1, sorry, it's a 2v3, sorry. But that's still a disadvantage, and crucially it's a 2v3 when you don't have your CDs. And honestly, at this point in time, they don't either, but at least they have HP, right?
Right.
And this is a situation where it's like, it's just probably not worth trading in that situation. Now, you play it well, you slam and you immediately go to the Mega, so that's great. And then now we have our cooldowns again, so we can keep going a little bit longer. But just something to keep an eye on, right? And the reason why that happened is because your autopilot rhythm is off, okay? In other words, you say, I'm up 1, therefore I should keep going, but there needs to be an installation of some software here that forces you to take
exactly it. I think that's exactly the mentality I had. It's like, oh, we're already up. I could like afford to go.
Right. But that's not correct. So that we need to install some software here to be like, okay, I've gone for my engage. I take a half of a second to evaluate where's my team, what are my CDs, right? This is an obvious thing that bronze plat players do or need to do better on first engage, which is why you're not bronze plat. But it's that second engage, right? It's that second engage. That's where you lack consistency. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is just confusing. I think you got a little lost in the sauce there.
No, I was trying to give a Mega, but they were all back.
Okay. It's a little strange. I think it's fine to use your gun on the Winston Tracer here, but obviously, like, again, we're in a situation where there's just nothing else really happening right now, right? Like, there's a lot of combat happening here. So if you're going to be taking combat here, we would like to be using your kit.
Yeah.
So more of a nitpick. You're probably fine, but I really want to see, like, this is going to be going back to that software, right? Like, we need to see a full reset mentally, like right now. Stop what you're doing. Evaluate what you need to be doing. I need to go for a grapple. I need to go for a slam, but I don't have my adaptive shield, so maybe I need to be careful. Okay, out. Right.
I did not know the guy was in there.
Well, but it's not that you didn't know that he was there. It's the fact that you knew that he was there now and then continued on the path.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you look at this and you're like, this is not a bad engage. This is like a little risky because you don't have your adaptive shields and you could get rooted. But you're like, I'm probably fine. Like, my team is fighting. It's cool. But so I roll out. Yeah, this is all good. Then you see this. You've done your job. Get out. And I think it's really important to highlight that this has happened after a minute of solid combat, basically. We've had almost essentially a straight minute of just shooting. That's Wrecking Ball sometimes. More so than a lot of other tanks, right? You look at Winston, right? Winston's ice cold and he's red hot. Wrecking Ball always feels like kind of warm, if that makes sense. And so there's a real danger of you just continually fighting battles, right? And never really taking that mental reset that you need to kind of evaluate your situation, if that makes sense. So what might be important for you is finding those moments, right? Let's find out when those moments would be, okay? So Moment would be right now. Take a second. Evaluate. What's my HP? What are my cooldowns? Where's my team? Right? Another one of those moments is right now. Right? Like you're not in this position or a situation cooldown-wise to do anything, so evaluate. And certainly right now. Right? Certainly right now. Okay, like where are we at? What do I want to be doing right now? So there's 3 of those moments. And then, pardon for the noise, but even right now, right? Like before we go in. So we've had, I think, 3 or 4 opportunities to just take a deep breath and evaluate our situation with our CDs and with where our team is, and we've not taken those opportunities. Because I trust your judgment and game knowledge with balls so far. I don't have anything I don't think to teach you just yet, but you're not using that skill set consistently, if that makes sense. Because obviously you look at that and you're like, I don't know what I was doing there, right? Like you know better than that, right? So how can we help? Sure. How can we improve that habit, you know? Because now we've had a second, right? Now we've had a second, and I trust you, at least for right now, to be pretty intelligent. You know, you found the Torb isolated. You tried to steal Mega, correct? I think you tried to steal Mega there?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's really smart, right? Like, that's really, really smart. That's a heads-up play there. And then you're like, okay, he got the Mega. He's got Overload. Do I really want to take this duel anymore? Maybe not. See, that was like, that was kind of an unlucky play from you, but it was a very analytical play. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't really have a lot of feedback there. Unfortunately, you didn't get the Mega. Good try, good angle, good staging, good disengage once you realized that the fight was lost. The question is what's going to happen now? Because that's when you had your deep breath. Exactly. Can you maintain that intensity and do it again? Yep. Okay. Sure. This is what I talked about with peeling right now. This is the angle that you wanted to stage on, and now there's a tracer there. So now you're actually engaging on that tracer. Yes. Very good. It's really good. Yeah. You can chase there. Yep. Kind of an odd adaptive shields, to be honest with you.
I think it's literally because I enter combat. There's a lot of people around. I might take damage.
Oh no! I agree with that.
Oh wait, I did it early.
Yeah, you did it super early. Okay. Yeah, I think it might have just a goof, right? Like you just a goof, right? Just a goof up. But like, yeah, the idea is perfect. Like you would definitely want to use adaptive shields here, whether you're being shot at or not. But yeah. And I'm okay with the mines too. Obviously, you prefer grapple mines, but like there's a sense of urgency that you can feel, so I don't mind. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay. I think you just basically, the feedback was that you took a 2v1 with the Tracer, and it just took you guys too long to kill her. So that she's basically in a situation where now she can pull your attention, and then you guys come very late to the fight with your mines and so on. So the more objective thing is that the adaptive shields was too early, and I'm not sure why that happened. I don't think you know either. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Maybe that's something that gets sloppy when you get a little distracted. What's your strategy with perk choice? This one's an interesting one for me.
I pretty much always go double mines. I was before this perk. I was always on a pack rat. I miss it. I feel like I was a little bit carried by it, but I pretty much always go the double mines because I don't like when I have picked Steamroller. It does really just make me think about like, oh, how can I boop tank, and that's not always helpful for me because it probably puts a message with my gauges.
I understand. Okay, makes sense. It's definitely something to consider. What it might be is if it feels like it leads you to making poor engages, maybe that's something that you need to drill. In other words, when you pick it, my goal this game is to, if there's a tank that I think that I could boop occasionally, pick Pack Rat, but try to control myself from only pursuing boops on tanks. Because if it's a shortcoming of yours that you struggle with using it, but it is a decent perk situationally, then you're kind of shortchanging yourself because you're not experienced enough to handle it. You know, you should try to work at that because it's not always something that you should avoid. So, okay, let's keep going. Yeah, I think this perk is fine. It's useful. Now, I feel like this could be better. I think this is the challenging aspect of Ball, is that there's always like 12 different ways to approach a fight, right? So I want you to challenge yourself a little bit here.
What's the best way,
Um,
like, to push yourself? What's the most damage that you could get out? The most resources you could force without taking too much damage?
hmm. I think there one way could start this is just doing like a slam off of his high ground on the Mizuki
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
shields, and then like
Okay.
maybe grapple to like roll around.
Yeah, sure. So like you're anticipating you go for the slam, you're anticipating the root, you quickly grapple, adaptive shields, roll, and then we're doing our spin to win. Yeah. Yeah. Slam first here, I think, because while the Mizuki is like annoying with the root, I think if you catch him by surprise, there isn't really enough follow up here to kill you even if you do get rooted. Right? So I think you're probably fine, and you should probably try to go for the slam. Give me another engage. Give me another option. That's one. Give me another one.
Um,
Is there an angle you could scoop and slam from if you had time to set up?
I'm I mean, kind of where the window is on the a little bit to the left. I guess I can do that in the Mizuki.
I don't think you really had the time to, but obviously coming from behind here would have been really good if you'd had time. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I like the slam idea from you coming from the
I think
window.
I just started shooting here because I was like, oh, I might like get rooted if I like, immediately go in. Or
Right,
something.
right. But that's not the end of the world. We're playing Winston, Tracer, Juno. You know what I'm saying? Like the Torb will be a little bit difficult, but I don't
Right.
think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the world, especially given how fat those adaptive shields are. So it's fine. We force some resources. We hold our angle here. Grapple, slam. We don't have adaptive shields, so we disengage immediately. Yeah, sure. Almost. That might be a situation. How could you handle this one a little better?
I think it's just a little more control over the retract
Yeah, agreed.
because that ruins all my momentum there.
It's also worth noting where you grappled here. Did you notice? Because
Oh,
that's
it's
what
it's pretty low, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's what causes you issues here. I think more so than almost anything else when it comes to ball mechanics, it's all actually just about grapple placement, right? I don't think you wanted to grapple this low. I think you meant to go higher, and then that kind of screwed you up because then when you retract, you're actually pulling yourself down, not up, because you wanted that slam, or at least the opportunity to slam there. I assume.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. Could have been a better opening engage. Could have paid a little bit more attention to where we were grappling. Scoop and slam, sure. Good adaptive shields. I will highlight that we haven't had problems with adaptive shield timing anymore. It was just that one time, so that might not be a habit for you. It just might have been a weird moment. Sure. Okay. Reasonable stuff. We keep going. Nice. Could have slammed there, but I think it's dead either way.
I
Surely.
think I missed it, but yeah.
Ah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Sure. Don't chase too far. I know it's crazy to say that as ball, but I mean, she can almost outpace you. So this is kind of where I don't love this, and let me kind of explain why. I don't mind you fighting Tracer along your path, or if you guys are actively contesting the same angle. The problem with this is if you don't get this kill, then this is a 1-for-1 for a tank, which you could argue is a little bit more valuable. But more importantly than that, this is a 1-for-1 when you have mines.
Oh, okay.
So
I
this
see what
is
you're
not
saying.
this is not as simple as like, oh, but she's got pulse bomb, doesn't matter. Mine's more consistent. Mine's way more consistent. So what I would prefer for you to do here is take a little bit of your downtime while you're waiting for next fight, but never ever compromise where you want to be. Okay? So in other words, smack her here, get out of here, go, and then like, okay, I should just go ahead and start setting up for next fight. Think of it this way. If the enemy tracer is staged and you're staged, who gets more value? It's kind of a weird way of thinking about it. You're like, well, it's a 50-50, right? No, it's not, because you're trying to get to a higher rank, right? Who would you prefer to have? You know, like Magnus Carlsen in a good chess position, or me in a good position? Well, if you want to be the best, focus on your setup, your position, and not necessarily denying the others. If denying others happens because you are fighting for the same position that you want, then that's fine. But don't snub your own position just to snub somebody else. That's petty. Okay, so if what you did with the Tracer earlier was not petty because you wanted to be here and she was stopping you. You remember that? It took you too long, but the idea is fine. So if the Tracer's here, fight Tracer forever. That's cool with me. But if she's not here, then that's not your problem. Don't chase. I mean,
It
we don't
also
need,
just kind of takes me like so far away from like where the fight is. So like even if I don't like do anything here, it's like I have to run so far back to.
right.
like,
It's
back
not
in
it's not
the
as
fight.
big of an issue because like you're very fast for that. It's just more along the lines of like, well, if it's a 1-for-1, and it's a 1-for-1 that if you were the better player, you would prefer to have the better position. Mines are good. Don't forget your ult. Oh, you forgot your ult.
Yeah, I feel like I did that a lot with like some of the replay cards I had.
That's alright.
Here.
That's
I've
alright.
gotten better at it recently.
Okay,
though.
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Good mines. Yep. Okay. Good job. Yep. I like this a lot. Very clever. Respect. Yes. Good. This is just a little too much greed. I know he's low, but he's not low enough. Well, I don't know. It's splitting hairs. As long as we live here. I love the little grapple for the heal. That's great.
Yeah, I love getting it. It's a fun sound to hear.
It is. Okay, that was a decent fight from you. They had a lot of ults, or not a lot of ults, but you guys got pre-fighted, so. Okay. And here's the high damage. So this is the moment of truth here, right? So we talked about things that we looked at briefly. That second engagement, being deliberate or second engagement, not chasing targets. Optimizing your staging, being specific with our grapple placement, and not forgetting our ult, right? So now, do any of those mistakes cause you issues with this higher damage composition? Or is it a new mistake, right? Let's take a look. Staging here is fine, but I will ask you, is this the optimal staging for you? Because, yeah, you're going to scoop and slam and then dash shields. Yeah, okay. Anybody could do this.
I would say no. Ideally, I'd be like in that middle-ish room thing with like the high ground-ish.
Yeah, like here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Well, I'm just like closer to them, and I have better staging for like grapple slams and the
Okay.
kind of like engages they want.
Okay, I agree. This feels very vanilla. This is coming in from the side with a scoop and slam, but maybe you could get a freer staging and also like a more of a surprise of an angle for the scoop and slam. I think it's actually absolutely worth looking into here. Because you can see it, this is a little far, right? So that's the problem here, is the grapple's too far. So for the scoop and slam, maybe you were a little early, but that's honestly kind of splitting hairs. Like your Moira's here, your Kiri's here, your Emre's on the flank. I don't think this is that bad. It's just too far. It's just not a good enough engage for you. And here's the funny thing. You're going to get punished for it because it's a high damage composition. But let me ask you a question. Would this have been good if they had been on Tracer still instead of Bastion?
Huh. I would also just say no because of the time it takes me to like just even to get there.
Yeah. Do you see? So
What
this is
options I
my
have to
this is my point. When you're playing versus these high damage compositions, your errors are going to result in your death. Yes. When you're
Yes.
playing versus these low damage compositions, your mistakes are going to result in your team's death. Does that make sense? So the problem is that it's still a mistake. You're right. Still staging from a better angle or taking a better engage would have been smarter here. But don't look at it as in like, oh, this is bad because it's a high damage composition. No, this is bad, period. Because if they're still on Tracer, you still would prefer this back angle. You still prefer the staging, harassing the Juno coming in from the scoop and slam from behind. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So use these opportunities, whether you're playing versus high or low damage composition, and ask yourself, is this the best staging that I could do? Regardless of what comp they're playing. You need to be patient, 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 patient. I mean, that was a good try. It was just, you missed your first engage. You're already down 1. You're already down 2. It's too late. Go next, right? I don't think there's anything terribly unreasonable with that. Okay. It's unfortunate. I know you didn't mean to slam there. I think you meant to slam on the other side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the intention.
Yeah, we're kind of staggering at this point now, unfortunately. Okay, Best engage. What do you got?
Probably be rolling on the right side and getting a retract up to that like center part, I guess, for a slam.
Retract up to here, slam, then disengage. You got it. And again, that's probably worth doing regardless of the composition that they're playing. You see what I'm saying? And see, the problem is that there isn't enough urgency with where the staging is. And so when we're talking about drilling, once you have the fundamentals of Wrecking Ball, I think maybe the most important thing to drill is exactly what we're doing right now, which is pre-fight evaluation. Where should we go? What should we do? If that makes sense. Like, where should we go? What should our staging look like? It's super, super important. Super, super important. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you showed competence at it, but we need more practice doing it. There's a tendency for you to just kind of go for these long distance scoop and slams and not really evaluating the architecture around the map. Because you're like, cooldown layering is fine. Like, you know the scoop and slam, you're coming from a bit of an angle, you use your adaptive shields, you don't overstay your welcome. You know, you've got the basics figured out, but then we need to start actually using what the map is giving us, right? So even like right here. So with where this fight's going to take place, where's the staging? Where's the position?
I think I just go up here again. Yeah.
But is this the best? Is this good?
I think it's pretty solid.
I think it's pretty solid too, right? I know I'm implying otherwise, but I do think it's pretty solid, right? I do think it's pretty solid. And it's worth noting that some of our best engages were not necessarily the more complicated ones, but the ones that were a little bit more thoughtful about using the map. You notice that? Right?
Yeah, I
that
recognize that.
Yeah, so this is good. Now, not every map is going to provide that to you, and you don't always need to go crazy with it. But like, this is you using the map and you using your kit, and I have like pretty high hopes that this should be a fight win here. This should be a fight win. It might not. It's not always your responsibility, but this looks pretty juicy right here. That's a nice spread. Don't forget your ult. I think we do, but yeah, we do. Yeah, we need to stop forgetting.
It's either that or I know I had like a habit of like pressing the ult key like a lot when I did, so I get like both mines in like the same place.
Yeah. I understand. But that was a good mines. That was good staging. There you go. Maybe. No, this has been a little bit of it's been okay. It's been okay. Nice. Good job. Well, what are we doing for time? I think we got time to watch one more before we jump the rat, if that works for you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. We'll give you a little bit of an action list here. All right, what's the staging? What's the architecture for this, right?
I think where I go is fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty good, right? Easy verticality, easy slam. We needed to be here sooner.
I like go to here.
Okay, yeah, you screw up, but we needed to be here sooner, I guess is my feedback, right? Like, we should not be pushing cart right now with somebody already on cart. You need to be already on right, if that makes sense. Just go for the slam there, to be honest. Go for the 180 slam. Like right here. You missed a grapple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a slam. So, that's all right. The angle is still good. I don't think you can do this. I know it's like,
I don't shield.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you just can't do this here. You just can't. You probably needed to keep fighting Bastion, if anything, here, or just wait for your CDs, and because your cycle here, like, you are going to explode here. Yeah, and that should be it right there. So, okay, 2 things to keep an eye on. Actually, 3 things. Okay, 1, you got to use that freaking perk.
Yeah.
Okay, but the 2 things to practice, 2 things to drill. 1 is I want more deliberation with using the map architecture with your engages. So be a lot more thoughtful about the verticality, which flank is best, which high ground is good. Should I even use the high ground? Can I spend to win? A lot of what you're doing is when you don't really have a plan, you just scoop and slam. I want you to take those extra seconds between fights to actually plan it out a little bit more. It doesn't have to be the second or third or fourth or fifth engage, just the first engage, make it look pretty. If you want to scoop and slam every fight after that, that's fine. But the first engage on the first fights have to be cleaner than what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And the failure is usually that you're not thinking about what the map gives you. That's what I want you to put your attention to. The second thing to drill on a different day or a different game is to be more respectful and more attentive to your cooldowns on your second engage. You predicted that this was going to be the case, and I think you're right. This is absolutely something you should work at. So when you do your first engage, okay, great, that's fine. What next? How's your slam looking? How's your adaptive shields looking? What about mines? What about their CBs? What about your HP? Where's your team? Try to kind of absorb all of it and then just make a gut instinct. So in other words, I don't need you to analyze each one of those details one at a time, 5 seconds each. You don't have time for that. But turn your attention to, what should I do now? Can I go now? And then let your gut tell you. Okay? Just turn your attention to it. That's all. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
So you're going to drill turning your attention towards that second engage. How deep can I go? Should I go deep? And then you're also going to turn your attention to the map architecture. Those are going to be the two things that you drill. Do you have any questions here before we move on to the rat? The other
rat. No, that's all pretty good. Yep.
Okay, good stuff. You did a good job with staging for your mines. I actually think you did a really good job on your first engage in regards to respecting the enemy team's threat. So you did very bad in your second engage, but your first engage, you're almost always very attentive to like CC and stuff, so that's really good. And then in terms of like how you're relaying your cooldowns, it's mostly okay on first engage. So rat time. Now, is this the second code or is this another ball code?
That's another ball code. I'll push the rat code right now.
Okay, let's take a look here.
This one's on Atlas. It's a little weird because it does open up a lot.
Yeah. Point situational for sure. For Junkrat. It's going to feel amazing in some places, going to feel rough in others. So rat, as you know, is there's like two ways to look at rat. It's like either you are moving to a small room to cause pain or a small space, or you already have a small space that's causing pain. And so essentially what that means is like either you have like this OP powerful spam angle or this OP powerful spam angle where you don't really need to do anything clever. You just need to spam what everyone hates about Junkrat. But then, oh gosh, they're all on point now. And like my spam angle sucks. So I actually need to kind of sneak around behind and look for a one shot. I need to find a way to gap close and burst them down, if that makes sense. So you either need to burst flank or spam choke. That's basically the way to look at it. Any questions with Junkrat before we get going?
I think one thing about mine usage, I feel like there's a lot of times I get too caught up in just like using it, and like too often if like there's something like on my screen, I'll just like use it for the extra burst damage. I think my point is like, when is it like okay to not use mine?
Yeah, I think what I would do is I'd put attention to when the mine usage actually has a good chance of getting a kill, not just doing damage.
Oh, okay.
Because it sounds like really dumb, like, oh, that's such a silver way of looking at it, but it's true, right? So because with Junkrat, it's very, very fine to trade. Like you're going to die a lot, and that's okay. But if that mine has like a 70% chance of securing that kill, and then, oh no, I don't have any mobility to get out, still probably good odds, right? So like if you go here, and you shoot mine, and she disengages, and she's here, and then you shoot mine again, I mean, that's a pretty good chance of getting a kill right there. Pretty good chance. And then, oh no, I got isolated by Tracer, and I didn't have mine. I'm dead. Yeah, but like, you should have got her. You know, you should have got her. So I think with Junkrat, it's more along the lines of like, is there a reasonable chance that that's going to get a kill? And if the answer is yes, go for it.
I guess one thing about this code is that I feel like I did like pretty well the first 2 points, and then they just kind of like ran it back for the last 3. So maybe I want to focus more on those, but
yeah, well, we can zoom through. I will say as well that as the map architecture opens up, like this is not going to be your friend. So you need to make sure that
not at all.
Yeah. So you're going to have to flank, or you're going to have to make sure that they never can hold this space here. You should never let them hold this space here, right? So with ball, where you have like limitless options about how you can engage, with Junkrat, it's the opposite. There's oftentimes only one or maybe 2 choices of where you can position yourself, and that's basically it. Good. Like right there, for example, like that was a pretty good mine, knocks her back, does damage. If you get isolated without mine right now, you don't care. She actually just jumps, like right there, that's just where it's like, okay, GG, go next. Right? You traded 1 for 1, you pulled a lot of resources, the queen should die, and you don't care. Which is weird to say because you're a character that doesn't have a lot of mobility. Usually, like characters like Vendetta are good because they come back so fast, but like, it's still worth. Okay. Now, here's an important moment. Because you could, and you were thinking about it, mining the top right. You could.
Yeah.
You could. The problem is once you go there, you're basically all in on hitting a double direct. Otherwise, you don't get a kill. So I would say no. But you should still take that angle, but you're not going to get immediate value out of it. In other words, I don't like what we're doing right now because we're thinking about uptime in a meaningless fashion. What are the odds that this angle gets value from you?
It's so much lower.
So much lower. So stop what you're doing and walk. And then if you run into somebody, okay, great. If you don't, and you're very late to the team fight, you'll have double mines on the flank. That's fine. That's fine. You don't really have a choice. Does that make sense? Now, if you get your second mine, like let's say right now you're allowed to blind mine jump and go for a kill here or go for a kill here because you actually have that mine to secure the kill. So as soon as you have the resources, yeah, see, this is just very, very late in your staging. It's all staging. That's just what Overwatch is, right? It's Wrecking Ball all over again, right? Don't worry about the APM here. Get there faster. But you go for this Sojourn, this is good. You should absolutely go for the Sojourn. In fact, I would have mind jumped for that Sojourn. Because now you've essentially given her the opportunity to disengage, if that makes sense. That being said, at least we did get to the angle, right? Good job.
Yeah, got there a bit late, but
Yeah, a bit late because why? That's important.
My attention was focused on like taking a good position first. I just saw the queen and started
Right,
shooting
you're just
at
like,
that.
maybe I can hit a shot across them. No, stop, move. Right, exactly. It's actually a really important skill for basically every character. But, okay, we'll keep going. This is fine. See, we're like holding threatening space here. This is really, really good. Good. Again, there's realistic chance that you're going to kill somebody there. You just didn't. This is just mechanical failure, but the space was good and even the mines were good. Good try, go next. If the intention and the idea was good, then that's all you need to do. You just need execution after that, if that makes sense. So, like, I'm going to move on from that and be like, yeah, a better Junkrat player, or even you on a good day, I think you kill, like, 3 people there, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, it's fine. And even the way that you're using your CDs was good, right? If you're using them sloppily, but no, you had good theory. You just didn't hit. Very good. Good. Again, now we're very happy to trade. If we die, it's fine. Nice. Good job. Really, really, really good job. Yeah, no complaints here. Okay, we'll keep going. Like you said, first couple of points are okay.
I think in particular, I'm not sure how much of an issue time is right now. I think once they make the swaps to like Freya, Echo, I kind of want to like.
Yeah, sure.
Look at that, because that changes.
We got just under 15 minutes because we started a little later. So what we'll do is I'll zoom. I'll do a speed review, right? If I see anything major, I'll let you know. That work for you? Okay. Now you choose the other perk. You're all for the unusual perks.
Okay. So normally
225.
Normally I go. Yeah. That's exactly why. Normally I go Recliner, but like I saw like there's literally 4 of them.
Tracer, Kiri, Lucio.
So, like, I thought, okay, I'll try it out.
Yeah. It's clever, and there's also situations here where they might try to snipe your tire or snipe your body, and maybe you just sit in your body with rip tire as well, so you don't necessarily need the speed. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at how hypermobile their comp is, right? Like, they might try to hunt you down, so that's clever. Yeah, I actually think that's pretty smart recognition there. Again, this is we talked about it, right? Like, it's like there's no spam angle for you, right? So you need to hold this space and make this space useful. This is very good. What I would do here, I think, is I think just because it's so hard for you to do anything, I think I back off to this corner here and I pop rip tire.
Oh, I was not even thinking about tire. Honestly,
yeah. Well, it's scary, but I think it's the only thing you can do right now because it's like it's hard to reach this far. I think you pop rip tire and you sit in your body and you see what happens. I want you to make them think about it. Is what I'm trying to ask you to do, right? I want you to scare them. Because you see this, you're just like, poop. You know, like what can I really do here? You know? You see what I'm saying? It's just difficult.
Not too much.
Yeah. So the way to look at rip tire is like when your position just kind of expires. Just use it. Good shots. I really like your crosshair control when you're being pressured. You stay very calm. It's very good. It's not just good for your accuracy, it's also good for your practice as well, because it means if you miss, at least you miss accurately and you learn better for next time. It feels like every engagement we've had so far has felt like Kovacs, you know? Like where you're really thinking, okay, how can I make this work? Oh, no. This has been really good. I've really liked how we've played, how we've positioned. We've done an amazing job. My only criticism is we just needed to freaking use the Riptire. That's it. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, this is really good. You could pop the Riptire here as well. Yep.
Because I use like the Nitro boost so much, I'm like not used to tire without it.
Yeah. It's fine. I think as long as you're respectful of the Sojourn rail there and just kind of creating space, like I don't know if you noticed, but actually just you kind of tanked with that Riptire there. They all kind of spooked out, and then we just chilled with that. So that was good. Reaper, I don't know why they're swapping Reaper, but we'll take it. I think Reaper's terrible into Junkrat. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I honestly find it a little hard. I'm gonna be honest. Because I feel like it's like, I don't know, if I don't hit my directs, like I only have the mines to like.
Yeah, I understand.
Away.
I understand.
Yeah.
It just feels like a skill check, you know. Like the better that you get at Junkrat, it feels almost impossible.
Yeah, I think it's just like mechanics, I guess, against him.
Yeah. Okay, I mean we've done a good job. I think my biggest criticism has been the lack of tire, and then obviously first point the lack of urgency on getting to the angle, and then now it's where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, this is the fun comp.
So this is where you go back to what I was saying about like you need to control the spaces that work for you. You cannot force kills. You cannot force engagements. So like right now, for example. So this doesn't feel great for you, obviously, but you are going to do some damage, some pressure from this angle. And if you look at it on a blackboard perspective, do you really think it's good for Freya Echo to be stacked with their entire team here? You see what I'm saying?
It is. No, it's not.
It's not good. So what you do is you go like, okay, I'm diminishing my value right now because I can't press because I'm Junkrat. But this area of the map is good for me. And if they try to take an off angle, I can actually fight them. Whereas if I get greedy and I push into space that's not good for me, I can't actually win. So I want you to do one of two things. I want you to just hard flank around and look for one shot and die. Or do what you're doing now and just hold the area. It's basically what you were doing here. Like think about like how little of the fighting you did happened over here, right? It was all in here because this is what's good for you. And so this is the same thing. So as long as you aim your shots as best as you possibly can, right? Don't get caught going like, I have to go for these crazy kills. Like I think even pushing here, right? Like we could push, but you cannot die to Freya bolts. You cannot get full echo stickied. You see what I'm saying? So what's happening is like you're so urgent to help your Rhine. Your Rhine's dead. It's over. It's fine. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Instead, keep the control of the space here. And if this Freya or Echo even sneeze at you, if they even just take a single step towards your direction, you one-shot them every time. I mean, I know that's a little bit ambitious, but that should be the mindset, if that makes sense, right? That should be the goal. Because this, I believe in you. I think that you can hit a direct here. I don't think you can kill her, but I think you can hit a shot. And the same thing happens here. Like right there, I think you can go for that. Like I actually appreciate that you went for that. Now I just wouldn't peek it again. So when you're playing versus these flyers, you need to basically do what you're doing now in terms of like, I'm like a surprise birthday present. Like my buddy Stefano always says, I'm like a surprise birthday party from a small room constantly. What you're doing now is fine. It just, unfortunately, we were a little bit late with it, and we took a little bit too much damage before it happened. I mean, it's a bad matchup, right? But you can make it work. So again here, where's the surprise birthday party, right? Like, it's going to be either committing left or it's going to be committing right. And you need to make sure that whatever you do is on a leash, right? So don't just vaguely move in the enemy team's direction. Move with intent. Where should you be? You choose. I'm not really moving the camera on, I know, but just give me a direction.
Yeah. I guess right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go right. Let's go right. Okay. So what happens here? Well, we get to here. We spam a little bit at the Orisa, and then what ends up probably happening is we actually probably put pressure on point and we murder her or force her Suzu, force her out. Right? We could do that easily. Don't worry about this crap over here. And if you are going to worry about this crap, mine and get here now. And then start lurking in the walls. You get what I'm saying? Like, you need to go. Because this is just not useful.
So the issue here is just the lack of, like, urgency on the space I'm controlling.
It's the urgency on the flanking. It's the urgency on the angling that's missing. Yes, exactly. It's exactly what happened on first point. You're 100% correct. Because this Kiriko has been alerted to your presence, and you don't even necessarily try to go for her either. You see it? Yeah. And the problem here is once we go for the Kiriko, it's not just about the Kiriko, right? It's about this little spot here. You see it? We want this spot.
Okay. Okay.
And so once you're here, it's not just it's not just the you're not going for the Kiriko. It's that I don't like being here versus double flyer. You see? It's like instantaneous death. If I'm here, oh no, Kiriko's already dead. Fine, we're still useful here. This Echo can't push us here. This Moira can't push us here. This Orisa cannot push us here, right? Junkrat he's a homebody. He has to stay in his recliner, you know? So it's like, essentially you need to find where that spot is and make that happen. If you have to move, that's fine. So then you move from one recliner to the next recliner, if that makes sense. Like what you're doing right now is good. This is how Junkrat plays. This is how Junkrat plays without Riptire. This is just how Junkrat plays, period. Unless you have an OP choke to spam through. Right. Okay, we're going to move our recliner. Where's our next recliner, right? Probably here, right? Somewhere here.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we can go here. But if we're looking for a better spam angle, it's just not going to work. So it's like, I'm concerned about this rotation here. Because, yeah, we're angle maxing. But it's maybe not our best recliner.
So that area below is better just because of like the architecture. It's like literally better for my character.
Yeah, exactly. Remember we talked about Wrecking Ball, right? Like how do you approach each engagement using the map? Like you're still angle maxing, so you're doing a good job. This is why you're masters, right? But ultimately, like this is a situation where like an Echo or a Freya are going to have an advantage over you. Whereas if you're here, they don't have an advantage over you. And so therefore, if they push you, they die. Or if they ignore you, well, then you can spam AFK or find your next recliner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like find the position, dare them to contest you. If they don't contest you, use the position for spam or find another position. Like you just get greedier and greedier and greedier until they have to deal with you, right? This Echo is about to surprise you, I think. Yeah. She reclinered you. That's crazy. 1 HP. Aw, that's unfortunate.
No.
That's unfortunate. That's okay. I don't hate the idea. That's just another one of those nitro boost moments, you know? Where you're like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, I really wish I had it there.
Yeah, it's fine. I do think that your logic around not using nitro boost was totally fine. So I don't think that was a bad idea. Yep. There's your recliner. Take it. Yeah, because like you are so freaking dangerous here. Like if they all group up and rotate towards your Rhine, then yeah, that means you don't have a lot to shoot from here. But that's a mistake for them, right? So like they have to contest you at some point because it's not good position for them. Okay, now where's your recliner next, right? I mean, this looks pretty good, right? This looks okay. You could even go towards point.
Fine. I think
you could even go towards point. Yeah, agreed. But do you see how like if they all rotate away from your recliner, they create a spam angle for you?
Yeah.
And you see it, right? Like we're getting decent damage here. And then now point, right? So now they're super far away. So don't even bother. Just go towards point. She has to leave. And then now you've forced the problem. Like you are now saying, okay, you have to deal with me. And I'm the best hero in the game at doing this. You see it?
Yeah.
Like that was just a mechanical thing. We could have been a little bit cleaner. And we were down a couple here too. So I think like that was fine. That was good. We could have very easily won that. Good job. Okay. Last point here. Oh, let's see it. You're always a little slow though. Like there's so much space like right here, and you just don't think to use it.
I see like an opportunity to damage something, so I get like 2 times advantage.
Yes, exactly. That's a great recognition. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, you're really good versus tanks, right? Like you're amazing versus tanks, but that there's still it's a 2-tap when you have it first, then spam. Yeah, this is good. I mean, you can see it. Like you've just been a total menace from that side angle. Good job. Not sure recliner. You can't do this. It's an angle, but it's not your angle, if that makes sense. Right? Like this is disrespectful. I mean, you're not intending to be disrespectful, but you just can't. Where's your recliner?
Probably it's either height or like the little like under.
Yeah. Get to here and see what happens. Like this is what happens when you find. Look. Let's just. Right? We had no idea.
It's all right there. It's all right there.
Right? No. And Freya can't push you because if she does, she walks into your recliner. She gets smoked, right? So this is what I'm talking about. It's like if they all rotate away from you, as we saw the fight before last, right? All the way over here, then you get this like disgusting spam angle on the point, and you end up killing them from a distance anyway. If they rotate towards you, they die. Now, obviously, it's not that simple, but that's the strategy. That's the mindset that you need to be in here. It's more lurking. It's more surprises. It's more doing stuff in the shadows, like you're like Batman, you know. Yeah, I mean this is fine. I mean, I actually don't even mind this. Like, this is like, you won't get a kill with it, but like, they freaking hate you. They freaking hate you. They're like, man, everyone's super scared. I mean, look at the positions that they're holding, right? Look at where they were, right? And then look at where they are now, right? They're just like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I don't want any part of this, right? Right? So even though you didn't have Nitro Boost, we get some nice value out of it. I don't know. I don't hate it. I mean, you got double mine, right?
I mean, there's a chance I get it with.
Yeah. I don't think that's
Mine,
unreasonable.
but
I would have basically, what I would have preferred from you is just to be a little bit more liberal with your double mine. Just throw it. Don't try to hit the directs. Just hit the mines. Just because you have two of them, you might as well. And then if you don't want to do that, then you should go set up your recliner over here again and then force her to come in this way. But that's honestly super nitpicky. I actually don't hate that idea. Like, I don't think that was a stupid duel. That was like, there's a chance that works. Go for it, you know. Sometimes you just gotta roll the dice, you know? Because if you also notice there wasn't really a great angle to take that duel, right? Like, it was pretty open. So I think you made a good try. It was a good try. It was a good try. Okay, so things with Junkrat. It's as you put it so eloquently, essentially I need to do damage instead of I need to set up my position right. So you get distracted when you should be instead improving your position. Finding those rooms where you can essentially dominate space, and then if they all run away and hide from you, well, then you can spam across the map, and then that's fine, right? But ultimately, like, if you have your recliner, then you're just really the best hero in the game. Okay, any questions with Junkrat?
I think the one question I have is that if I just don't want to be stuck on main with my team, but like main gives me like the proximity I need, and the angle opportunities are like have like way too much distance. Like I guess like Nepal Shrine is one example because I play in like the rooms where the mega is, and that feels like way too far away.
Yes.
I just kind of like don't know what to do, and I just end up planning from like so far.
I understand. Well, keep in mind that you don't have to be like on a hard flank necessarily. Just simply holding the other side of the choke on Nepal Shrine is fine, right? And if you're talking about like the mega side, the double mega side, like the dark room side, not coast, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You could hold off to the side, leaning towards that, and just listening to see if anybody comes above or underneath, but still kind of holding the choke. You don't have to be in those dark rooms, right? Because that is too far from the choke. You could just hold off to the side, and then, there's a tracer trying to wrap around that mega room. I'm going to shoot her in the face, right? So, yeah, proximity angle, but we're not necessarily needing you to hard flank. Like, this map, you've been pretty cooking because that's what the map is given to you, but you don't have to go super, super deep. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think that's all of it.
Okay. Let's I'll wrap it up then. I'll have